The slap that shook an industry. Part 1. Just another passenger. Zara Jackson hadn't worn her badge in 2 weeks. After more than 2 decades of law enforcement, she had finally taken her well-earned retirement, handing in a shield that had defined so much of her adult life. That morning, she woke up at 4:30 a.m., out of habit, rolled out of bed, and reminded herself, "Today, you're just another passenger." She glanced at the email confirmation again. First-class ticket, Flight 1143 to Chicago. She was attending the National Police Chiefs Conference as an honored guest, but she didn't want the ceremony, the title, or the attention. She chose a soft navy blouse and gray slacks, professional but unassuming. Her badge she tucked into a hidden pocket of her carry-on, just in case. As she zipped her bag shut, Zara smiled to herself. After a lifetime of serving others, today was her chance to just be. But as she would learn, the world wasn't ready to see her that way. Part 2. The Terminal Test. Newark International buzzed with travelers. Zara moved through the crowd with grace, helping a confused Hispanic family find their gate. She spoke to them in fluent Spanish, something she had learned during her community policing years. The mother clasped her hand in gratitude, eyes welling. Zara smiled. This is why I served, she thought. But not everyone was grateful. Captain Victoria Westbrook watched the exchange from a distance. She wore her polished uniform like a crown and carried herself with the self-importance of someone who believed the skies belonged to her. When you're done playing social worker, she sneered across the terminal at Zara. Clean up that spill near the lounge. It's been there for 20 minutes. Zara blinked, unsure whether to laugh or correct her. I'm a passenger, she said calmly. Not airport staff. Westbrook didn't apologize. She didn't even blink. You all look the same, she muttered, walking away. It wasn't the first time Zara had heard that kind of remark, but she inhaled slowly and let it pass. Pick your battles, she reminded herself. Part 3. Boarding Gate Blues. At the TSA checkpoint, her bag was pulled for a random search. The officer, white and young, rifled through her belongings with more force than necessary. What's this? He barked, holding up her toiletry case like it was contraband. My cleanser, she answered softly. Other passengers, white businessmen, a teenage girl with electronics, walked through without pause. Zara's frequent flyer status was ignored. Her patience was tested, but she remained composed. Captain Westbrook watched from a distance with folded arms. Security knows who to watch, she said smugly to a colleague. At gate 37, Zara approached the first-class lane. Brenda Williams, the gate agent, saw her and immediately tensed. Economy boarding isn't for another 45 minutes, she said loudly. I'm in first class, Zara replied, offering her pass. Brenda examined it as if it were fake. She turned it over, held it to the light, called a supervisor. We may have a fraudulent boarding pass, she said, just loud enough to gather a crowd. The supervisor, Michael Chun, typed Zara's details into the system and looked at the screen. It's valid, he said. First class, 2A. Platinum member. Still, Brenda frowned. Are you sure? Doesn't seem right. Captain Westbrook, conveniently nearby, joined them. How did you get a first-class ticket? She demanded. Zara looked her in the eye. I bought it. With my own money. Part 4. The cabin and the collision. Finally, allowed to board, Zara took her seat. 2A. Window. First row. She stowed her bag beneath the seat, keeping it close after the invasive search. The snow globe for her daughter remained in her hands. Flight attendant Melissa Parker served drinks and hot towels to every passenger in first class, except Zara. Even when Zara politely asked for water, Melissa ignored her. Zara noted each instance in her phone, time-stamped. Years of investigations had taught her, document everything. Then, Westbrook entered the cabin. There must be some mistake, she declared. People like you don't belong in first class. Zara raised an eyebrow. What do you mean by people like me? You know exactly what I mean. The air froze. Passengers turned. Phones began to record. Westbrook doubled down, pushing into Zara's space. You're being disruptive, she snapped. I'm sitting in my assigned seat. You're aggressive. Threatening. Zara didn't move. Didn't speak. She simply pressed the call button. Melissa shut it off. The man beside her, a white businessman, finally intervened. She hasn't done anything. Why are you harassing her? Stay out of it. Westbrook barked. I want to see your payment method, the captain insisted. This could be fraud. This is racial profiling, Zara said, finally. There she goes. Playing the race card, Westbrook hissed. Zara slowly reached into her jacket. She's reaching for a weapon. And then came the slap. Part 5. Badge and backfire. The slap echoed. Silence. Zara's cheek turned. Her body remained still. From her pocket, she pulled not a weapon, but a gold badge. Chief of Police. Gasps. Murmurs. The tide turned. Airport security arrived. Westbrook ordered them to remove Zara. She assaulted me. Westbrook lied. Zara stood calmly. Check the videos. A dozen passengers had been recording. The senior officer blinked. Chief Jackson. Yes. He turned to Westbrook. You're under arrest for assault. Click. The handcuffs closed around Westbrook's wrists. Part 6. Justice takes flight. Westbrook was let out in cuffs. Melissa was fired on the spot. Brenda lost her badge. A new captain, new crew replaced them within an hour. Zara's seatmates offered apologies. The man beside her said, I won't stay silent next time. Zara said nothing. She just opened her laptop and began typing her report. The airline CEO called her within the hour. Apologies. Promises. But Zara didn't want an apology. She wanted accountability. And she got it. Westbrook's license was revoked. She pled guilty in court. Community service banned from the industry, probation. The airline paid $40 million in settlements. Reformed hiring, surveillance, bias training. Passengers from Flight 1143 were hired as compliance officers. 6 months later, Zara stood before a joint task force in full uniform. We don't need better apologies, she said. We need better systems. Her daughter, now training to become a pilot, stood watching. Inspired not by her mother's badge, but by her integrity. Epilogue. Beyond the slap. What began as humiliation became a turning point. Zara Jackson never sought revenge. She sought reform. And because she stood her ground, because others recorded, because the truth couldn't be buried, an industry changed. Because justice, when recorded and shared, becomes unstoppable. The slap wasn't the end. It was the beginning.